Thanks for joining us on Kwara TV main bulletin, reaching you from our studio here in Akwata, Yakuba. You can watch us on StarTimes 113, Free TV 502. You can also follow us live on Facebook and YouTube. I am Busayo Haweda. I'm not alone. I have my colleagues in the studio.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Busayo. Good evening. Thank you very much for watching. Here is the news tonight. My name is Tosin Adeoye. Many thanks for staying tuned. From the languages desk.
Look at the baby, I never for look at Nayaga, be I can be la by the television Kwara chair for a part of white lawyer. So, let me made a personal town coffin at the end of my day. Alapo?
Kolo, Kale, Basana. Jẹ́ akiwa ní gbogbo tó bá ti láǹfààní láti mọ ìkànnì móhùnmáwòrán tìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó fi kalẹ̀ sí Àpáta Yakuba nílùú Ìlọrin. Àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn ní àmútọ̀yìnwá lálẹ́ tòní. Muhammad Jamiu Alápò ní orúkọ tèmi, ṣùgbọ́n ṣáájú gẹ́gẹ́ bí ṣe wá èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì láfi ṣíde ìròyìn ọ̀hún ká padà sọ́dọ̀ Bùsáyọ̀ àti Tósìn fún ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́.
From the State House, the presidency has reversed its earlier decision and has withdrawn the appointment of former Kebbi State Governor Usman Saidu Dakingari as Nigeria's ambassador designate to Turkey less than 24 hours after the announcement was made. A statement issued on Thursday night by presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga confirmed that President Bola Tinubu had approved the posting of 4 ambassadors designate from the more than 60 nominees confirmed in December. They included former Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Kayode Are, who was named ambassador designate to the United States, former Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, Ayodele Oke, was posted to France, while former ambassador to South Korea, Ame Dahatu, was appointed High Commissioner Designate to the United Kingdom. Dakingari was initially listed as Ambassador Designate to Turkey. The announcement of Dakingari's posting was shared on X but was later deleted. His appointment had come just days before President Tinubu's planned state visit to Turkey. However, in a fresh statement released on Friday by the State House, Onanuga said no ambassador has been appointed to Turkey. The new statement restated the posting of Are, Oke, and Dahatu, but removed Dakingari's name. No explanation was given for the sudden change. Onanuga added that President Tinubu has already sent a memo to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to formally notify the government of the United States, France, and the United Kingdom about the ambassadors designate in line with diplomatic protocol.
Now, talking about the ambassadors nominees, the recent appointment of ambassadors to the United States, United Kingdom, and France has renewed the conversation for the need for representation of Nigeria on the global stage. Slaban Hassan had interaction with respondents who are media practitioners in Ilorin, the state capital, on their reaction to the appointment. And this report is presented from our studios.
President Bola Tinubu has finally approved the posting of 3 ambassador designates to France, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Those posted include Ambassador Ayodele Oke, Colonel Latif Are, and Ambassador Amin Dahatu, who will cover France, the United States, and the United Kingdom, respectively. The United States designate Kayode Are previously served as the Director General of the Department of State Service, DSS. Ayodele Oke, deployed to France, had earlier served as a Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA. While Amin Dahatu, a former ambassador to South Korea, is now appointed as High Commissioner Designate to the United Kingdom. Some respondents who spoke with Kwara TV News on the fresh posting of ambassadors noted that the posting is long overdue, adding that the decision would go a long way in reshaping Nigeria's relationship on the global stage, particularly with the United States, given recent diplomatic tension which centered on insecurity. They emphasized that the absence of diplomatic corps and representation had worsened Nigeria's international relations and led to misinterpretation of its security challenges. The respondents are of the view that, with the profile of the appointees, Nigeria stands a better chance of proper representation despite the years of delay in sending ambassadorial designates.
The right step in the right direction. But this, like Riley said, this is something that is long overdue. And you can see the way things are going as regards our foreign relations in these important countries like America.
The time that the nomination has been made, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the people that have been nominated, are they qualified?
One of the respondents, Akinlolu Abayomi, was certain that the posting of former senior intelligence officers to the United States would help to strengthen cooperation between Nigeria and the U.S. in the fight against insecurity.
Need is to ensure that Nigeria has an excellent relationship with U.S., France, UK, and possibly China, the leading countries in the world.
Both respondents stressed that Nigeria needs to continue to maintain excellent representation in countries such as the United States and France, and possibly China, as leading global powers for socio-economic benefits.
In Niger State, Governor Mohammed Umar Bago has described the National Youth Service Corps NYSC as a beacon of hope for the future Nigeria, emphasizing its enduring role in fostering national unity and development amid the country's challenges. Speaking at the official opening and swearing-in ceremony of the 2026 Batch A Stream 1 orientation course at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp in Kwaiko on Friday, the governor urged the new corps members to embrace their service year as a platform for nation building. He highlighted the scheme's success in mobilizing Nigerian graduates and instilling values such as commitment, patriotism, teamwork, integrity, and tolerance. He noted that corps members have made significant contributions to sectors like health, education, agriculture, and infrastructure, positioning the program as a vital instrument for progress. The governor, who declared the orientation course open, encouraged the corps members to feel themselves as agents of change equipped to elevate the nation, advising them to participate fully in the skill acquisition and entrepreneurship development (SAHID) program to acquire practical skills beyond their academic qualifications. Bago also assured the corps members of the state government's commitment to their welfare, including plans to deploy manpower and machinery to improve the orientation camp's facility, calling on security agencies to ensure their safety, and commending the NYSC management for their dedication. In her address, the NYSC Niger State Coordinator, Mrs. Matiana Ibrahim, echoed the governor's sentiments, congratulating the prospective corps members on their mobilization and praising their patriotic spirit. The coordinator reminded the corps members of the need for discipline, selflessness, and compliance with camp rules, emphasizing the program's response to contemporary challenges such as unemployment through skill-building initiative that promotes self-reliance and wealth creation.
Now let's talk politics. In Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has formally resigned from the New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP), citing protracted internal crisis and legal disputes that he said have weakened the party's cohesion nationwide. The resignation was disclosed in a statement issued on Friday by the governor's spokesperson Sanusi Bature. Yusuf communicated his decision in a letter addressed to the chairman of the NNPP, Disco Chiranchi Ward, in the Gwale local government area with effect from January 25, 2026. He expressed appreciation to the party for providing him with a political platform since 2022, stressing that the support received contributed to his emergence and governance. The governor attributed his decision to persistent leadership disputes and court cases that have continued to destabilize the party at both state and the national levels. Yusuf said his resignation followed careful consideration and was guided strictly by the public interest of Kano residents. The governor's exit was accompanied by the resignation of 21 members of the Kano State House of Assembly, 8 members of the House of Representatives, and all 44 local government chairmen in the state. The resignation letter was acknowledged by the NNPP Secretary of the Diso Chiranchi Ward, Kabiru Zuberu, who commended the governor's performance in office.
Muslims have been charged to constantly remember death and prepare for it through their actions and deeds. This was the core message delivered by the Imam of GDSS Okesuna Muslim Community Mosque, Dr. Ahmed Muhammad, during the Jumat prayer at Okesuna in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Sulaiman Hassan covered the Jumat prayer for Kwara Television News, and his report is presented from our studios.
In his khutbah at GSS Okesuna Muslim Community Mosque, Dr. Ahmed Muhammad admonished the congregation to always remember death and prepare adequately for the day of judgment. Speaking on the exemplary legacy of the late Chief Imam of Ilorin, Sheikh Muhammad Bashir, the Imam urged worshippers to emulate the good character of the late cleric and to use positions of authority for the propagation of Islam. Dr. Muhammad noted that the late Chief Imam used his position to promote Islam and ensure justice among both Muslims and non-Muslims. The Imam also advised the Ummah to avoid being overly preoccupied with worldly activities at the expense of their religious obligations as Muslims. He further reminded wealthy Muslims to support the less privileged, stressing that Allah rewards generosity abundantly.
Tí Ọlọ́run mú wá fún àwọn bàbá wa yìí, bó ti mú wá fún ọ̀tún wọn àti bá a ṣe wò wọ́n tóbi wọ́n kàǹkà wọn náà. Wọ́n dáwọn tó yẹ pé ní àbá Ànábì Muhammad náà láyé mọ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àwọn bàbá yìí náà àwọn náà padà lọ náà ni. Bọ́n ṣe wá lọ yìí náà bí ó ti kẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan wa náà nù ni. So àwa ayé má lọ̀kùn sí gbogbo ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wa náà ni ó padà kàn. So àmọ́ èyí tí ó dájú bí ọba tí wàá kẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan wa náà kọ́ ká ìtọ́ da máa lọ kọ́ ká iṣẹ́ rí dáadáa kọ́ ká máa lọ kó sì ká ẹ̀sìn dáadáa kọ́ ká mẹ́ni kọ̀ọ̀kan ó ní ó fi jẹ́ pé ní àwa náà ṣe kí ni àwa náà síra láyọ̀ báwọn bàbá àmọ́ náà ṣe síra láyọ̀.
The Imam later led the congregation in the 2 rakat obligatory Jumat prayer.
Allahu Akbar.
Some worshippers who spoke with Kwara TV News described the sermon as a timely reminder on the inevitability of death and the importance of preparing for the day of judgment.
Made us to know that if we want to meet Allah very well, we should be preparing. We should always be preparing, because one day, at any time, the death can meet us.
Everybody will taste it, whether we are big or not, or whether you are small. You will taste death on one day, and we should be behaving and should be performing our action as if we will not use tomorrow.
The Chief Imam of Ilori, may Allah forgive his soul. They made us realize how important he is in our midst.
The death can come to anybody at any time, that we should all prepare and ready to pass out anytime, any day.
It shows us that death is inevitable, and in all our action, we should always remember that at any time.
In case you are still joining us, this is Kwara TV News. We take a short break now to return with more news. Please stay tuned.
Thank you very much for staying tuned. Welcome back from that short break. Still from our news desk, the Federal Capital, FCT Minister Yusuf Mukia has filed an order challenging the ongoing strike by workers of the Federal Capital Territory Administration. The lawsuit was filed before the National Industrial Court. The Joint Unions Action Committee had commenced an indefinite industrial action following the expiration of a 7-day ultimatum leading to the shutdown of major government offices, including the Federal Capital Territory Administration Secretariat. In response, court filings indicate that Nyesom Wike and the FCTA have approached the National Industrial Court in Abuja, seeking an order to restrain unions from picketing, blocking offices, or disrupting official activities. The court document is slated for hearing on Monday. Justice E.D. Sublime has granted approval for a substituted service of court processes on the union leadership, authorizing service through newspaper publication, as well as the posting of notices at the JOAG office within the FCTA Secretariat. Notwithstanding the legal action, JOAG has maintained its stance, vowing to continue the strike. The union insists that workers' demands have yet to be addressed. It urged members to remain at home until further notice.
The federal government has formally sold the concession of the Akano Ibiam International Airport Enugu to Hero Alliance in a move to modernize Nigeria's aviation infrastructure through public-private partnership. The concession agreement was signed in Abuja by Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development Festus Keyamo. This was disclosed in the statement issued on Friday by Tunde Moshood, Special Advisor on Media and Communications to the Minister. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Keyamo described the agreement as the culmination of a long, transparent and painstaking process that spanned several years. He recalled that the Federal Executive Council approved the concession of the Enugu Airport on July 31, 2025, subject to the successful conclusion of contractual negotiations. He emphasized that the protection of aviation workers were central to the concession framework, noting that consultations were held with relevant unions to safeguard staff welfare. According to the minister, once workers' rights were fully secured, attention shifted to other technical, legal, and operational matters to ensure a sustainable concession agreement. While confirming that the main concession agreement has now been concluded, Keyamo disclosed that 2 outstanding operational issues related to security charges and the airport financial operating model would be resolved in the coming weeks to enable seamless implementation. The minister described the signing as a historic milestone that will position the Akam Ibiam International Airport for improved efficiency, better service delivery, and enhanced passenger experience.
Now, from the power sector, the federal government has banned electricity distribution companies and installers from collecting any form of payments for meters, warning that DISCO officials and installers found extorting customers will be prosecuted. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, issued a warning during an on-site inspection of the newly imported smart meters at the APM terminals at Papa, Lagos. And Adelabu said that the meters were procured under the World Bank-funded Distribution Sector Recovery Program and must be installed for consumers free of charge, stressing that any demand for money would be treated as an offense. Adelabu was received into the Apapa Port Commander of the Nigerian Customs Service by Area Controller Emmanuel Oshoba, expressed happiness over the importation of another tranche of 500,000 smart meters under DISREP. He said that the meters would be given to all electricity customers regardless of their band. Adelabu was optimistic that in a couple of years, every household, business and institution will be fully metered so that billings and collections in the power sector would become more transparent, fair, and just. He added that it would also improve the readiness of electricity consumers to pay their bills, leading to improved liquidity in the sector.
The Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has condemned the purported appointment of Abdulrasheed Maina, a former pension Reform Task Force chairman convicted of corruption, as grand patron of the NBA Garki branch, describing the move as a disgrace to the legal profession and a mockery of the fight against corruption. The NBA, in a statement on Friday signed by its president, Afram Osigwe San, said it view with disdain the alleged appointment reportedly made by the chairman of the NBA Garkil branch, Anthony Ojo. Report says Maina was convicted in 2021 by the Federal High Court in Abuja for stealing over 2 billion naira in pension funds and was sentenced to 8 years imprisonment. In May 2023, the Court of Appeal upheld the 8-year sentence following his conviction on a 12-count money laundering charge. In a unanimous decision by a 3-member panel, the appellate court said it found no reason to set aside the judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja, which found him guilty. The purported appointment, according to the NBA, not only brought the association into disrepute, but also undermined its core values and government anti-corruption efforts.
Now, the chairman and the chief executive officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, has set aggressive operational goals for 2026, charging commanders to intensify efforts in dismantling drug cartels nationwide. This was disclosed in a statement on Friday by the agency's director for media and advocacy, Femi Babafemi. In a statement, while addressing the agency's leadership, which included members of the management, zonal commanders, heads of all 36 state commands and the FCT, among others, during the agency's annual review and planning meeting held at the NDLEA National Headquarters in Abuja. Marwa declared that the 2026 would be a year of unprecedented consolidation in war against illicit substances. The statement revealed that during the session, Marwa directed the various commands to ensure a seamless execution of the 2026 strategic work plan, saying when he first assumed office, he made certain declarations about the direction of the agency and the resolve to confront the drug barons and kingpins. Reflecting on his tenor's renewal by the president, the NDLEA boss was said to have credited the agency's field officers for the public's increased trust. He also laid down strict guidelines for the coming months, emphasizing that zero tolerance for compromise is non-negotiable. Marwa furthermore warned commanders against taking unnecessary risk, advising them to ensure thorough surveillance and planning before any operation, and request reinforcements where operational capacity is insufficient rather than risk avoidable casualties. The NDLEA boss issued other key directives in the statement, instructing that advocacy and sensitization efforts in schools and communities must be intensified, and state drug control committees must be strengthened across all states, with efforts extended down to the local government and wardless. Now, we'll come back from this time. I will bring to you more stories from the entertainment, the business, and the sports decks. Please stay with us.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned to Kwara TV News. For entertainment, Afrobeat singer J1 has addressed young artists on the true meaning of music following the online feud between Seun Kuti and Whiskey drama. In an Instagram post, J1 lamented that many young artists focus solely on metrics like and recognition, thinking it makes them the best. He emphasized that music value lies in its impact, ability to change minds and touch souls. J1 cited legends like Bob Marley and Fela as examples of artists who have made lasting impacts, noting their music remains relevant forever.
Welcome to our business desk. From the business scene, orange, widely known for its sweetness and vitamin C content, is said to contain a range of other plant compounds that reduce inflammation and work against diseases. Kwara Tv News crew visited the Pata market to sample the price of the fruit commodity. Our correspondent, Esther Amadu, has more.
Orange has been considered to be a highly nutritious, low-calorie fruit that provides numerous health benefits, largely driven by their high vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidant content. They are renowned for supporting immune function, heart health, and skin health. A single medium orange provides about 80 to 92% of the daily recommended value of vitamin C, which is essential for immune function and helps stimulate white blood cell production to fight infections as well as prevent kidney stones. Some respondents in the Lorry, Kwara State capital, who spoke with Kwara TV News, noted that orange has nutritional value that helps build the immune system. The sellers disclosed that a bag of orange ranges from 17,000 naira to 20,000 naira, while 10 pieces sells from 500 to 1,000 naira, depending on the size.
I've sold 15,000 by the season time, but now we are selling 17, 20,000.
Àsìkò yìí báyìí, ohun báyìí, ohun báyìí, àárà ní 17 báyìí. Ẹyọ kan báyìí ọjọ́ naira.
They reveal that the orange they sell mostly comes from neighboring Ondo, Ekiti, and Osun states, among others. However, they said orange currently is out of season, which has contributed to it being expensive in the market.
Ọsàn tó wọ̀ ọsàn àwọn tífì, àwọn ìlú làwọn náà tó ń lọ sàn tán máa ń kó wa. Wọ́n ní gbóko, ṣùgbọ́n kì í ṣe táìmù yìí lòun. Ó di tẹ́lẹ̀ yìí bá lọ tán yẹnyẹn. Lòun àsìkò tí ò bá ṣe yìí mọ́ lòun máa ń dé.
Korea là ń ta 100 pieces là ń ta. À ń ta 105,000, à ń ta 106,000, bá ṣe máa ń tà nìyẹn.
The father explained that weather also affects oranges, which sometimes causes its dryness and lack of water. Esther Amadu, Kwara TV News.
For sport news, the Nigerian Women Football League, NWFL, has announced a temporary suspension of the ongoing 2025-2026 league season. The decision was reached following a petition to the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, by one of the clubs affected by the ongoing under-20 national team campaign. The club has seen more than 5 of its players caught up, thereby compromising its ability to compete fairly. The NWFL is expected to resume on February 18, 2026. The NWFL stated this in a memo signed by the Chief Operating Officer, Modupe Sadi, and sent to all the participating clubs. The memo noted that only a 1-week mid-season break will be observed. Clubs have also been provided with updated fixtures reflecting the new timeline and are expected to comply accordingly. Bayelsa Queens and FC Robo Queens are top of the NWFL Group A and B, respectively.
Now, since talking sports, Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has hailed athletes who participated in the Maiden Kogi Half Marathon 2026, calling it a milestone for youth development and sports excellence in the state. Speaking at the prize presentation ceremony of the marathon at the Mohammed Buhari Civic Center in Lokoja, the governor, represented by his deputy comrade Joel Salifu, said the event was more than a sporting competition, describing it as a celebration of endurance, unity, and the strength of the human spirit. He commended the over 200 athletes drawn from more than 10 states who participated in the race, noting that their presence has firmly placed Kogi State on the national sporting map, bringing to the limelight the administration's drive to promote youth development, unity, and sport excellence. Ododo congratulated the athletes who emerged in the first, second, and third positions, praising their hard work and discipline. He also encouraged participants who didn't finish in the prize position, assuring them that their efforts and courage were worthy of recognition and that future editions of the marathon would provide more opportunities for success. He said the marathon was part of activities marking the second anniversary of his administration and reaffirmed his government's commitment to investing in youth, sport development, and human capital as key pillars of progress in Kogi State. He noted that beyond sport, the marathon has promoted unity among states, boosted peace and coexistence, encouraged tourism, and stimulated economic activities within the state capital, saying that the half marathon has come to stay and will continue to grow bigger and better each year.
From the foreign scene, Malawi has rolled out a 3-day cholera vaccine this week in a bid to curb the threat of the disease that claims tens of thousands of lives worldwide each year. It comes as officials have warned of a steady rise in cases across the country. Among the locations targeted by local health officials for the rollout was the Chilomoni Township, a densely populated area in the commercial capital, Blantyre. At least 17 cases have been reported in the city in recent weeks, with one death. The South African country is one of the several African nations that face the threat of the disease, which has been heightened by abnormal heavy rains and flooding. More than 300,000 cases of cholera were reported in Africa last year, marking a major blow to the continent in its fight against the disease. It marks the worst toll in 25 years. Cholera is a disease resulting from a bacterium usually spread through infected water or food. It's mostly treatable with rehydration medication, and there are a handful of effective vaccines. The report from Malawi concludes a package from the English desk. Over to Kwasana for Labari. Who between?
Mimi labari no ga ina Suleiman na Hassan ade waye ga mission sashi ne gi labari kashi na ni me do ya ron ne na ki fa na abben bala ga ni na kide lile to ba sen ania ina de ala alheri bin guna ya tin Nigeria na ni me lu ba ti shi da la kinu gode ko to ya guna bani abada lilia aba lilia ele é bastante a base do Butano Tiani, nele a do aqui France, do aqui na terça do aqui vai no aqui na terça Kingdom na nama antes nama suna metro aqui ayodini okay a jaga kone natif are to aqui vai no ambassador Amin da hati nele a kikini na te kusuna kim France to United States Kingdom to United States na nimi elo la vai na ba nari ne kayo de arena unda yi tanade ala kisne ko suja di ala kikne ko sana la lo kinde France no na ala ji ko suja kin Nigeria no na ma zan de amen da hat na mu ya ala kikya ko suja kin Nigeria na ji ambassador da lo kin Kia banyak kuliah kucing kuliah no, bani muka di dia kuliah kuliah dia kena tidak dulu kia United States Kingdom nama ni melu bah sahnya tadi dia bata kan ni gila bari na lat lagi ni, yoga sana tulisan ala sabalu Indo Cina bani ni kan, mui naji phone dulu, ama bani nabani bekini kim nabani kan, kami cakap debo. Quem na gira bolu be kin do ci ete mo we filafia to ibolu ya bala ki di kaka na sashi ma ko en ta ki de na mu ke lawo ke de amin kin ci ko na de ci be binde kan be kin den do ci kin den na jina ba ye ba ni ma ja ye ko ku ta do ibolu to lu ba ya me kin ni na ta si to na de e ga de be je filafia da bo ba da bo ba e twa ni kwa sha wani cin da ba na kina na ba ne ko suna wa le na ba su e wa de a ta be kaka ya e ti ga ne jo na ba ki ne a ba na sashi ma zani be na ga akin oluwa abayo mina to mun la ta kide na ba na bira na ma ke lai ko yi ne ke na bira dan be sashi ya kin na jide jiye na bira na lo yego lo etie ma o ko etie lafiya to ko ci je gwamna yankin Niger State Muhammad Umar Babu ba ni dai lai jide da ga gaba ta ji a tinya na ga National Youth Service Corps na jide ye guru ye ko ni etie ye guru lo yankin Nigeria na ma mo ga chule twa e tun no de ala ko e gwa fi kiniki ye guru de bia kin e ben mo sa kin bu do ka kai na mo che eu não faço nada para ti, aí aqui é que se me diz não vai por lá, né? Ele ganha de mim bana me ana de aqui vai por não, eu fui aqui não foi não, vamos na tipo uma wabi aí voltar aqui nem que de aí que nem e por suanda aqui e aqui e bem tudo que nem na já lá e mal vou ele não mas vegan be gari kide e gina je di bauta tira dana ayi etugwa mu ina di etie ugwa fike ba to zumatu yango ya gwalaji kaka to lo bayan lafiya na kafaci biwayen kike ka makanta etuyenu lati to sashi ndo ci ba shaga ki ba gani be ina da la yebo rebe kaka ya kinna gumna na maje bikina kede a chalalu e bayan e bayo ni ina da la e modi biya na kinna cima ya shawara kide kuku yikina gande e twaji to e tukana jide su kukala ya na muke dabobe na de a yikine ya chalade yepe yen etuli kakan gwala giji wannan wani bai bayan cikin su kudi ga la yana bagwa cima ya gaskiya kidan ga basu ko akiya mu a tudu biya mun ga basu ko na ga ya akiya na waji kokari na de ne dan dun da gona bayan kokore kakune kiyan sai ti diga kuma wani mace ya kide e tsa in raya to da basu da akiyo mu kuma ti ko ne da mu kawai ya coordinator yan gwaragen NYC na Dionysus Martina Shuaibu Ibrahim tó ń fún tó bá fi ẹ̀gàmí sọ gómìnà kéde ohun tí mo lábàárí kó tó lálọ́ bá yẹn NYC na ji kò kéré ayé kéde ajíkìní etí kò sún ayò ya ẹ̀mọ́wé ẹ̀dùfẹ́ láàfíà ẹ̀yẹ́ kìnnà. Wati daba musulmi jani kede tutude ati apatutu kamin dondo ama yishi tutu mo yana ajishi shi kana onga igan na onbe baya tu banade tula ni e baya mission dal government secondary school ni awo kesuna muslim community na ci maslaci government secondary school na ci o kesuna na Muhammad likita Ahmed Muhammad lokacin da a cikin lokacin juma'a jiyan nan na yi nimi hijira wani da takin Kwara Suleiman Hassan na ku labari na kana shi ya goya kide nimi hutu bayan da mai maslahatu mu chonga lekta Ahmed Muhammad ngwana be kayan shi kide kamen don do tutu yana da bai tina don do buki ati na don do shi ka tutu zumon choma e fo na kenan wai gan e fo na de e ga yi kapata ibure to chona mu ce barana na gani be mu ce ce be gani be wutu be na mu ce kalami ete wa mu lu bayan kuci ndali manu sai do na lu ji wa wannan fucho na Sheikh Muhammad Bashir kede zani yo man tuku mu no ma gikini na tie emilatu ko foro so ko ne wo kya tina zangi da gikini tie emilatu bitiki ku ya ne ya Allah aya dufe lafiya be to ku yikini tie som bayan su kuna lekira Muhammad ya tima a caga la tulabi a tikide yanzu daliman nusanna e ko ni na sokulla ila ture bayan kinigin adini musulunci wani mu yi nikete e wuki a cinan déédéé díà sàkání mùsùlùmí yo tó ráyé tí mùsùlùmí àná ń jẹ olùdúdú àná ń lárí pé tó ń dòdò wà ná ǹjẹ́ ń dalí mọ́ náà ǹtí mọ̀ ya pátá mọ̀ yìí sáwọ́ra kiri àjíkíní etí àjíkíní etí yẹn náà dé àlá àkí àgangan bí ebe èyí kú tẹ̀bí àná ti gbòyà ń tó ìyè wẹ́nà wẹ́nà ń tià ń tì wọ́n àdúgbò àdé sọ̀nbáyé sọ̀kó kwana àwọn mọ̀tí àti àgásán tó kéde pátá mùsùlùmí kéde àjíkíní etí ẹ̀zùmọ̀tò ní ẹni sọ̀kó jẹ́àná náà àti látú tani de gbali ga bana na ga tozmo etien de toyen sukuna gwamnati ya kin ta tin ban de a kan yi kin de ko ko de la dan company na jide ga na da shirki da shirki na to na jide go meta na jina kide a kyagan ganbe o na ya shi to go ka be mita yan prepaid mita na ide goyi na nde mu gwamnati da ba ni jiya forshi ga akwa ga da na ga ya da ide jafani ga be na da kirki na mu ji min sa de la da e pe na jina ga ha de ba yo ha de la bu na de la gamba na de tula lokacin nan la ezan ce ba ci de lo bayan mita wuro ni de a ku kana ji kin Nigeria abu na de ba na de gan fo ya papa na de ci ni Lagos no ajila kwa na takide latula kide mita na pa ta na ya kwa ko gudela na mu gani na banki je kwata de gikini gan bezuma to yewo etien shishi wo ba shiri yo na gan kide aga ya pa ta zamdo ne ibe ji afani ne be ne da ci kine e wo ja shi na do ne gwa de ga to amachi go ko mu a je wa mu ci kuna to plan ci de wa le fi ji do no maga bi cikin ego lefi na adila ba da man abu ega ngai gan da wuce daga ba ci ne zan custom jona nya na controller Emmanuel Oshoba na online ba futula gan be ko gan meta wurun na shi na duk ba ni ko to sun ida dan yi shi na kede nga basko a lotu bi etien mo ye borolo na to e bayan lokacin na kina da ba ala ko na ba gin be mi ya gin ala ko
a ṣe ń pàṣánà ìròyìn náà rèé lédè àbínibílẹ̀ kan sí Muhammad Jamiu alákùn ló kọ mi. Iléeṣẹ́ ààrẹ ni wọ́n ti ṣẹ́rí padà lórí ìpinnu tí wọ́n ti ṣáájú ṣe èyí tí wọ́n sì ti yọ orúkọ gómìnà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí nípínlẹ̀ Kebbi Usman Saidu Dakingari gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣojú ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà sí ilẹ̀ Turkey lẹ́yìn tí ó ti pé wákàtí 24 tí wọ́n ṣe ìkéde tẹ́lẹ̀. Àtẹ̀jáde kan tí ó jáde ní ọjọ́ Ọjọ́bọ̀ látọ̀dọ̀ agbẹnusọ ààrẹ Báyọ̀ Nanuga ló fìdí ọ̀rọ̀ náà múlẹ̀ pé ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu ti buwọ́lu àwọn aṣojú ilẹ̀ yìí 4 nínú ó lé ní 160 tí wọ́n ti ṣáájú buwọ́lù ní oṣù kejìlá. Àwọn tí wọ́n buwọ́lù ọ̀hún lè mọ adarí àgbà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí fún àjọ tó ń rí sí ẹ̀ka ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ DSS Káyọ̀dé Ààrẹ èyí tí wọ́n ní yóò máa ṣojú ilẹ̀ yìí ní ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà, nígbàtí adarí àgbà tẹ́lẹ̀ rí fún àjọ ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ NIA Oyèdélé Ọ̀kẹ́ ni wọ́n pín lọ sí ilẹ̀ France, nígbàtí aṣojú ilẹ̀ yìí tẹ́lẹ̀ yìí sí ilẹ̀ South Korea Amin Dalatu ni wọ́n ti yàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àgbà aṣojú sí ilẹ̀ United Kingdom. Dakingari ni wọ́n ti ṣáájú fi orúkọ rẹ̀ sọwọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣojú ilẹ̀ yìí sí ilẹ̀ Turkey. Ìkéde orúkọ Dakingari ni ó wà nínú ìtàkùn X èyí tí wọ́n kọ́kọ́ gbé jáde tí wọ́n sì ti wá lọ parẹ́ báyìí. Ìyànsípò rẹ̀ ni ó ti wáyé lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mélòó kan tí ààrẹ Tinubu ti ń gbèrò láti ṣàbẹ̀wò sí orílẹ̀-èdè Turkey. Ẹ̀wẹ̀, nínú àtẹ̀jáde tuntun míì tó jáde lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì láti iléeṣẹ́ ààrẹ, Onanuga sọ wípé kò sí aṣojú kankan tí wọ́n yàn sí orílẹ̀-èdè Turkey. Àtẹ̀jáde tuntun ọ̀hún tẹnumọ́ wípé pínpín ààrẹ Ọ̀kẹ́ àti Dàlátù ni ó jáde báyìí, ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n ti yọ orúkọ Dakingari. Kò sí àlàyé fún àyípadà ọ̀tun yìí. Ìpínjáde láìpẹ́ yìí àti fi wọ́n sọwọ́ sí ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà, ilẹ̀ United Kingdom àti ilẹ̀ France yíhun àwọn aṣojú ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà sí àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ni ó ti fa onírúurú ọ̀rọ̀ tó nílò fún ìtiwọn ni ó nílò fún ìsojú bó ṣe tó àti bó ṣe yẹ ní orúkọ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà sí ilẹ̀ àgbáyé. Nínú àkàṣe ìjábọ̀ yìí ní Suleiman Hassan ti ní ìfọ̀rọ̀wánilẹ́nuwò pẹ̀lú apá kan àwọn oníṣẹ́ ìròyìn nílùú ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara láti mọ èrò ọkàn wọn lórí ìpínjáde àwọn aṣojú tuntun tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ yàn. Ààrẹ Bọ́lá Tinubu ló ti ṣe ìbuwọ́lù fún àgbéjáde àwọn aṣojú ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà 3 lọ sí ilẹ̀ France, ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà àti ilẹ̀ United Kingdom. Ìpínjáde ọ̀hún ló fi mọ́ aṣojú yìí ambassador Ayọ̀délé Ọ̀kẹ́, Colonel Latif Ààrẹ àti ambassador Amin Dalatu èyí tí wọ́n dùn ní ilẹ̀ France, ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà àti ilẹ̀ United Kingdom lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Ambassador Ọ̀kẹ́ ni wọ́n yàn lọ sí ilẹ̀ France nígbàtí Colonel Latif yóò máa ṣiṣẹ́ ní ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà lẹ́yìn tí àwọn méjèèjì wọ́n di àyè wọn mú. Àwọn méjèèjì tí wọ́n wà nílẹ̀ France àti ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà yìí ni wọ́n jẹ́ ọ̀gá tẹ́lẹ̀ rí ní agbọn iṣẹ́ ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ nínú ètò ààbò nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Ẹni tí wọ́n pín lọ sí ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà, Káyọ̀dé Ààrẹ, ni ó ti ṣáájú ṣiṣẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí adarí àgbà fún ẹ̀ka ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ DSS nígbàtí Ayọ̀délé Ọ̀kẹ́ jẹ́ adarí àgbà fún àjọ NIA èyí tí wọ́n mú lọ sí ilẹ̀ France. Ẹ̀wẹ̀, Amin Dalatu tí òun jẹ́ aṣojú tẹ́lẹ̀ rí sí ilẹ̀ South Korea ni wọ́n yàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣojú àgbà lọ sí ilẹ̀ United Kingdom. Àwọn tí wọ́n bá ìkọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ Kwara TV sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ìyànsípò yìí ni wọ́n tọ́ka pé lóòótọ́ ìyànsípò àwọn aṣojú yìí ló yẹ kó ti wáyé tipẹ́tipẹ́, ṣùgbọ́n ìpinnu náà ni yóò tún orúkọ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ṣe ní ojú ilẹ̀ àgbáyé, pàápàá nílẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà. Bàbá wo ti ọ̀rọ̀ àdájájá ètò ààbò tó ṣẹlẹ̀ láìpẹ́ yìí, wọ́n tẹnumọ́ wípé àìsí aṣojú tí ó wà láàrin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí òun ni ó jẹ́ kí ọ̀rọ̀ rí bó ṣe rí, léyìí tí ó sì fa àsìgbọ́ lórí ìpèníjà ètò ààbò tó ń bá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí fínra. Àwọn tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ ń tọ́ka wípé orúkọ àwọn tí wọ́n yàn sípò náà ni ó jẹ́ àwọn èèyàn ńlá tí yóò sì sojú ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà bó ti tó àti bó ti yẹ, tòun ti ìfifalẹ̀ àìní aṣojú láti ọjọ́ tó pẹ́. Ọ̀kan nínú àwọn tó sọ̀rọ̀, Akínlolú Àbáyọ̀mí, fẹ̀mí ìgbàgbọ́ hàn wípé gbígbé àwọn tí wọ́n ti jẹ́ ọ̀gá lágbọ́nmi iṣẹ́ ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ sílẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà àti àwọn ilẹ̀ tí ó farapẹ́ ni yóò pọ́nkún ìbáṣepọ̀ láàrin ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà àti ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà nídìí ìgbógun ti àìráyájá ètò ààbò. Wọ́n tẹnumọ́ pé ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà nílò láti ní aṣojú tí ó ka ojú òṣùwọ̀n láwọn orílẹ̀-èdè bíi ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà, France, kódà tí ìmọ̀ ilẹ̀ China, gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè tí wọ́n di agbára mú lẹ́ka ọrọ̀ ajé àti ọ̀rọ̀ míì. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Kánò, Abba Kabir Yusuf, ni ó ti kọ̀wé fi ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú New Nigerian People's Party NNPP sílẹ̀, léyìí tí ó tọ́ka sí rògbòdìyàn tó ń bá ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún fínra lábẹ́nú àti ìwọ́ra ẹni lọ ilé ẹjọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí okùnfà èyí tí ó sì ti mú agbára ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún dínkù ní gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè yìí lápapọ̀. Ìkọ̀wé fi ẹgbẹ́ sílẹ̀ ọ̀hún ló di mímọ̀ nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tó jáde lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì látọwọ́ agbẹnusọ gómìnà Sunusi Bature Dawankin Tofa. Yusuf ni ó fi ìpinnu rẹ̀ ránṣẹ́ nínú àtẹ̀ránṣẹ́ kan èyí tó fi sọwọ́ sí alága ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú NNPP ní wọ́ọ̀dù Diso Chiranchi níjọba ìbílẹ̀ Gwale bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọjọ́ 25 oṣù kínní ọdún 2026. Ó fẹ̀mí ìmúre hàn sí ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún fún pípèsè pèpele òṣèlú láti ọdún 2022 nítẹnumọ́ pé àtìlẹ́yìn ẹgbẹ́ náà tóun nígbà ló ti kópa sí ìjẹyọ òun àti ìṣèjọba rẹ̀. Gómìnà ọ̀hún wá so ìpinnu rẹ̀ mọ́ rògbòdìyàn adarí àti ìwọ́ra ilé ẹjọ́ tí ó ti ń fi ojoojúmọ́ peléke sínú ẹgbẹ́ náà nípele ti ìpínlẹ̀ àti àpapọ̀. Yusuf sọ wípé ìkọ̀wé fi ẹgbẹ́ sílẹ̀ ló tẹ̀lé àgbéyẹ̀wò ní fínífíní àti ìfẹ́ àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ Kánò. Ìkúròlẹ́gbẹ́ gómìnà ọ̀hún ló tún wá rí ìkọ́wọ́rìn ìkúròlẹ́gbẹ́ àwọn ọmọ asòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Kánò tí wọ́n jẹ́ 21 ọmọ aṣojú ṣòfin 8 àti gbogbo alága ìjọba ìbílẹ̀ 44 ní ìpínlẹ̀ ọ̀hún. Ìwé ìkúrò ní ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún ni ó fìdí múlẹ̀ látọ̀dọ̀ akọ̀wé ẹgbẹ́ NNPP ní wọ́ọ̀dù Diso Chiranchi Kabiru Zubairu èyí yóò náà kására sí iṣẹ́ ìṣe gómìnà ní orí àlééfà. àwọn mùsùlùmí ni wọ́n ti ké sí láti máa fi gbogbo ìgbà rántí ikú kí wọ́n sì máa gbáradì fún látara iṣẹ́ ìṣe àti ìwà wọn. eléyìí ni ara kókó ọ̀rọ̀ látẹnu ìmáàmù mọ́sálásí GDSS Òkè Súnà dókítà Hamid Muhammad lásìkò ìrújúmọ̀ tòní ní Òkè Súnà nílùú Ìlọrin ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara. Suleiman Hassan ló péjú síbẹ̀ fún ìkọ̀rọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ Kwara TV tó sì mú ìjábọ̀ wá wípé nínú kútùbà rẹ̀ ní dókítà Hamid Muhammad ti rọ àwọn jàmáà láti máa rántí ikú kí wọ́n sì gbáradì fún ọjọ́ ìdájọ́. nígbà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ipa àwòkọ́ṣe tí ìmáàmù àgbà ìlú Ìlọrin tó dolóògbé Sheikh Muhammad Bashir. ìmáàmù ọ̀hún rọ àwọn olùjọ́sìn láti ṣàwòkọ́ṣe ìwà rere tí ìmáàmù náà ti filẹ̀ kí wọ́n sì lo ipò agbára tí wọ́n bá wà láti fi tan ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn Islam. dókítà Muhammad tọ́ka wípé ìmáàmù àgbà ìlú Ìlọrin tó dolóògbé ló lo ipò rẹ̀ láti fi ṣàgbéga ẹ̀sìn Islam àti ìrídájú ìṣedọ́gbandọ́gba láàrin mùsùlùmí àtẹni tí kìí ṣe mùsùlùmí. mọ́mọ́ tó tẹ̀síwájú láti rán àwọn tó débẹ̀ jọlà fún létí wípé kí wọ́n ṣàtìlẹ́yìn fún àwọn tó kù díẹ̀ káàtó fún láwùjọ nítorí wípé Ọlọ́run ọba Allah á máa ṣẹ̀san oore téèyàn bá ṣe. mọ́mọ́ òun ló padà ṣáájú àwọn jàmáà láti kíráka méjì tó jẹ́ ọ̀ranyàn fún ti ìrun jímọ̀. àwọn olùjọ́sìn tí wọ́n bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ Kwara TV sọ̀rọ̀ ni wọ́n júwe wáàsí náà bíi tó bá àkókò mu lórí ìpọn dandan kú àti pàtàkì ìgbáradì fún ọjọ́ ìdájọ́. ìjọba àpapọ̀ ni ó ti fòfin de àwọn iléeṣẹ́ tó ń pín iná mànàmáná láti yé gba èyíkéyìí owó nídìí ẹ̀rọ tí ó ń ka iná yóò mítà tó sì ṣèkìlọ̀ pé èyíkéyìí òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ disco tí ọwọ́ bá tẹ̀ pé ó ń gba owó lọ́wọ́ oníbàárà ni yóò fojú ba òfin. mínísítà fún ọ̀rọ̀ agbára Adébáyọ̀ Adélábù ló ṣàgbékalẹ̀ ìkìlọ̀ yìí lásìkò ojú àwo làwọ̀ fi gbọ̀bẹ̀ èyí tí wọ́n ṣàbẹ̀wò sí àwọn mítà tuntun tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kó dé ní pápákọ̀ APM Àpápá tó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Adélábù sọ pé àwọn mítà tí ó ń ka iná tí wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rí gbà ọ̀hún ló wà lábẹ́ ìgbọ̀wọ́ báńkì àgbáyé èyí tí ó wà nínú àtúntò ẹ̀ka agbára tí ó sì gbọ́dọ̀ rí àfilọ́lẹ̀ fún àwọn oníbàárà lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ láì gbà kọ́bọ̀. nítẹnumọ́ wípé èyíkéyìí tí wọ́n bá gbámú tí ó ń gba owó ni yóò jìyà ìjọba. Adélábù tí ó rí ìtẹ́wọ́gbà látọ̀dọ̀ alákòóso fún àjọ aṣọ́bodè nílẹ̀ wa ní ẹ̀ka ọ̀hún yìí Emmanuel Ọ̀ṣọ́bà ló fẹ̀mí ìdùnnú hàn wípé àwọn ẹ̀rọ mítà tí wọ́n kó dé ọ̀hún ni wọ́n ń lọ bí 500 ó sọ wípé àwọn mítà ọ̀hún ni yóò pèsè iná tó rọrùn fáwọn oníbàárà tí ó lóná láì fi ti ipò báńdì tí wọ́n wà sí. Adélábù ló ní ìrètí wípé ní àìpẹ́ ọdún sísìn gbogbo ìdílé kọ̀ọ̀kan olókoòwò àti iléeṣẹ́ ni wọ́n ní mítà tí yóò máa ka iná ní rọrùn tí sísan owó iná yóò sì rọrùn fún oníkálukú. ẹgbẹ́ àwọn amòfin nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà NBA ló ti bẹnu àtẹ́ lu èròǹgbà ìyànsípò Abdulrasheed Maina tó jẹ́ alága tẹ́lẹ̀ rí fún ikọ̀ tó ń rí sí àtúntò owó ìfẹ̀yìntì èyí tí wọ́n ti rán lẹ́wọ̀n gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá àsàlẹ̀ fún ẹ̀ka NBA ní Garki tó sì júwe ìgbésẹ̀ náà bí ìdójútini nínú ẹgbẹ́ amòfin àti ìtàbùkù ogun tako ìwà àjẹbánu. ẹgbẹ́ NBA nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan lọ́jọ́ Ẹtì tó jẹ́ ìbuwọ́lù ààrẹ wọn Afam Osigwe tó jẹ́ àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ amòfin sọ wípé ìròrí náà ló tini lójú púpọ̀ lórí ẹ̀sùn ìyànsípò náà lẹ́yìn tó ní ó wáyé látọ̀dọ̀ alága ẹ̀ka Garki nínú ẹgbẹ́ NBA Anthony Ojo. Jábọ̀ sọ pé Maina ni wọ́n ti wọ́ lọ ilé ẹjọ́ lọ́dún 2021 tí wọ́n sì ti dájọ́ fún látọ̀dọ̀ ilé ẹjọ́ gíga ìjọba àpapọ̀ nílùú Àbújá fún bí ó ṣe jí bílíọ̀nù $2 kó nínú owó ìfẹ̀yìntì tí wọ́n sì rán lẹ́wọ̀n ọdún 8 ní oṣù karùn-ún ọdún 2023. ilé ẹjọ́ kòtẹ́milọ́rùn náà tún di ẹ̀wọ̀n ọdún 8 ọ̀hún mú léyìí tí ó dá lórí òǹkà ẹlẹ́sùn 12 lórí owó ìlú ní pọ́npọ́ nínú ìpinnu àjùmọ̀ṣe látọ̀dọ̀ ìgbìmọ̀ ẹlẹ́ni mẹ́ta. ilé ẹjọ́ kòtẹ́milọ́rùn sọ wípé kò sí èrèdí kankan ó yẹ kí àwọn fi wọ́gi lé ìdájọ́ ilé ẹjọ́ gíga ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó wà nílùú Àbújá ètò ní Maina jẹ̀bi ẹ̀sùn ọ̀hún. ìyànsípò ọ̀hún tí wọ́n ń gbèrò rẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ NBA ti wí ní kò ní jẹ́ ìtìjú nìkan fún ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún ṣùgbọ́n tí yóò tún kó àbùkù bá ìlàkàkà ìjọba nídìí ìgbógun ti ìwà àjẹbánu. Ní àkótán, èso ọsàn ni ó jẹ́ èso kan tó dùn púpọ̀ tí ó sì ní èròjà vitamin C nínú, èyí tí ó wọ́pọ̀ lọ́pọ̀ ìdílé tí wọ́n ń gbé sínú ọgbà tí wọ́n ní ó sì máa ń ṣàdínkù ìgbòkègbodò tí ó bá wà lára ọmọnìyàn tí a sì máa lé àìsàn jìnnà sí àgọ́ ara. Ìkọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ Kwara TV ṣàbẹ̀wò sí ọjà Ìpátá láti bójú wo ìdíye owó èso ọsàn láàrin ọjà. Esther Amadu sì mú ìjábọ̀ wá wípé ọsàn táwọn wí yìí ló jẹ́ èso kan tí ó ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ oore lára tí ó sì ń pèsè àǹfààní tó pọ̀ fún ìlera bíi vitamin C, fibre àti antioxidant. Ó jẹ́ èso kan tí ó ń pèsè okun fún ọkàn àti àwọ̀ ara. Nínú ìpèsè vitamin C rẹ̀ ó tó ìdá 80 sí 92 èyí tí ó ń pèsè fún àgọ́ ara tí ó sì ń ṣàǹfààní fún kíndìnrín. Àwọn tí wọ́n bá ìkọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ Kwara TV sọ̀rọ̀ nílùú Ìlọrin ni wọ́n tọ́ka wípé ọsàn yìí ó jẹ́ èso tí ó ṣe àǹfààní púpọ̀ fún àwọn sójà tó wà nínú ara. Àmọ́ àwọn olùtajà ni wọ́n wá ṣàlàyé wípé àpò ọsàn kan ni ó wà ní 17 sí 20 náírà lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí bàbá ṣe wo bí ó bá ṣe wúwo sí. Ìròyìn ọ̀hún kò ní jù báyìí lọ fún ti alẹ́ òní. Adúpẹ́ pọ̀ tí ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Muhammad Jamiu Alápò ló kọ mi lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Musaya Wẹ̀dá àti Tósìn Adéoyè àbọ̀mírè.
Thank you for watching, and this is where we are running it up on Kwara TV Bulletin from Tosin Adeoye, Kwasana and Alapo. We say thank you for watching. Good night.